Welcome to another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. And joining me today is the world's own trombonist, Mr. Jeff Bradshaw. Everybody, please show this man some love. I don't think I've ever interviewed a musical icon before, but I'm honored I'm going to call it what it is. It is what it is. You get it, man. You get it. Okay. NAACP nominated trombonist. My friend, thank you for being here so much. I'm excited to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So normally I like to dive right in and just kind of start talking about albums and things of that nature. But because I'm so intrigued with your story, I want to kind of just go back, right? I always want to get back to how, right, this thing happened, how you became this prodigy. So talk to us about what made you become interested in playing the trombone.
It's a very commonly asked question, and my answer is always the great story, which is I was born and raised in a church called the United House of Prayer for All People, where gospel brass bands are the feature in the music ministry. My father, the late great Norman Bradshaw, was a multi-instrumentalist. He played trombone, trumpet, tuba. He played guitar. He was a great singer, a great preacher. He was the reason I chose trombone. I was surrounded by many instruments, sax, trumpet, and trombone, and baritone horn, and sousaphone, and drums. But my father was the reason why I played it. I played it in honor of him. I was surrounded by so many of it, but something about, he was a band leader in the church on trombone, and there's something about him and the way he commanded the band, the way he commanded songs, the way he played them. I just wanted to be like him, you know. And so by the time I got to high school, um, then people were like, in the first day of music class, which I never really learned later. But at the beginning, by that time, I wasn't formally trained. I was kind of self-taught by my father, which I'll talk about. But the first day of band in high school, middle school, they told everybody to stand by. There was a whole pile, stacks of instruments all around the room, and they told everybody to stand by the instrument they wanted to play. So of course everybody stood by the drums. A bunch of guys stood by guitar, lead guitar, bass guitar, stood by like saxophones and all that shit. And there was a stack of trombones in the corner by themselves. And nobody like wanted to play trombone. But of course, you know what I did? I went and stood over by the stack of trombones, and I was like, okay, my dad did it. I'm surrounded by it. I'm gonna try to make this thing cool, which it was already cool. Which it was already cool. I mean, amongst young people, trombone was an instrument that was like for marching bands and stuff like that. But for me, I was somebody who listened to at that time in high school. I was listening to the Yellow Jackets and Weather Report and James Brown with Fred Wesley and so many great bands who had horn sections, Ohio players. It was just so much music and so much jazz that I was trying to get into, listen to the great J.D. Johnson, Curtis Fuller, Slide Hampton. So, obviously the instrument was already cool, but amongst the young people, it was something that was like, sax seems like a more easier route to being popular, or guitar or drums. But I chose trombone because if my father played it, it had to be cool because he was the coolest person walking the earth. And if Norman Bradshaw played trombone, it had to be cool. So, and I was surrounded by it in church, so I chose trombone. I could play other instruments. I started off on drums and would learn how to play trumpet and soprano bugle and baritone and sousaphone. But I chose trombone because my father played it, and if my father played it, it had to be cool. And watching him play it was unbelievable.
Yeah. So you said, and I like that you because it's an honor, right? It's an honor to be able to pick up something that has been passed down. At what point did you say to yourself, you know something, I could make something out of this? We all have those aha moments, right? Where we're like, you know what, I'm going to take this and I'm going to go for it. You know, I'm not just going to stand in this box. What was that moment like for you, and when did it happen?
Well, for me, it was really about early to mid '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I realized that I had been born and raised in this church, and it was like so many great instrumentalists, so many great trombone players
Yeah.
that I was surrounded by. My father being one of them, and they were all over the country in the church organization that I was in. But I felt like the world uh, needed to feel this, that
Mm.
this gift that I had, and that I felt like the world needed to the world needed to feel and
Yeah.
needed to hear this very God-given gift.
Come on.
Um, I felt like the world needed to hear that it needed to go beyond the walls of the church, and the world needed to hear this gift that God gave me. And I promised God that if He gave me the opportunity, or He set the opportunity before me to let the world hear this gift, that I'll always give Him the glory for it. And I have
Mm.
from the beginning of my career to now. And all the glory goes to God for all my
Yeah.
success, my talent, my gift, the awards, and the nominations, and all the things that I've received, and all the things I've been able to do in music. God gets the glory for all of them.
Yeah. So when was the big break, right? You know, when was the moment when you knew your life wouldn't be the same?
When I knew my life wouldn't be the same is when in 2003, because by that time I had recorded with Michael Jackson. I had recorded with Earth, Wind and Fire.
Mm-hmm.
I recorded with Jill Scott. I recorded with The Roots.
Yeah.
I had been on tour with Jill Scott. I started to see the world, but
Mm-hmm.
not until I held in 2003 the very first copy, 0001, the very first copy of my first album, Bone Deep, in my hand.
Mm.
So, so I held that CD in my hand. That I mean, an album that featured Jill Scott and Floetry and
Yeah.
Glenn Jones, Glenn Lewis, and Carl Riddick and Gerald Veasley and Darius Rucker and Ndambi. Uh, um, Not until I held that album in my hand and looked at it, that I knew that that God had definitely ordered my steps for something bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was, I love that you I didn't, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't ask him, but I love that you just so effortlessly just name drop so many amazing people. Yeah, I work with MJ, and I work with this person, and and it is so,
No,
it
man.
gave me chills just because the experiences, right? Just the experiences alone that you've been able to have. So talk about these experiences and what you feel like you've learned over the course of 20 years.
Well, it's actually been 20 years as a recording artist when Bone Deep came out, but my career has been going on. Next year will be 29 years.
Praise God.
My career in 29 years in the music business. This is year, the 20th year anniversary of my first album,
Mm-hmm.
Bone Deep, which I just spoke about. Um, I don't know, man. It's just a humbling experience when you're in those moments. You don't think about that,
Yeah.
and you're in those moments when you're in the studio, and Andre Harris and Andre Harris and Marsha Ambrosius were like, "Hey, this is a song we're working on. A song we're finishing up with Michael Jackson. We want you to hear it." And I listened to it and I hummed the horn lines, and they was like, "Oh my God, you got to put that on there."
Mm.
Those moments. When I got called by great producer Keith Pelton and Darren Henson, um, who gave us, there's six producers, but Keith Pelton and Darren Henson gave us, He Loves Me by Jill Scott and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. They were in the studio, and you go, "Hey man, come on down. We're in the studio right now with Earth, Wind and Fire and Floetry, and we're working
Yes.
on a song that we need you to play on." And I was like, "What?" So you drive down the Sigma Sound, the famous Sigma Sound studio in Philadelphia, and you walk in the studio, and they're sitting in the studio, uh, Marsha Ambrosius, Natalie the Florist Stewart, and Philip Bailey, Maurice White, and Verdine White. And you're just like, what?
Right.
It's like, what? Yeah. So, you get a chance to work on a song with Earth, Wind, and Fire and Floetry at the same time, and you get to record music and get to stand in a booth and look through the glass and see the late great Maurice White sitting there, like bobbing his head as you're recording this music, as you're putting horns on a song. Putting horns on a song horns on a song that features Earth, Wind, and Fire and Floetry. It was a blessing, and um, um, man, it just. But you're not thinking about that. You're walking there, but you got to stay focused on why you're there. The reason I'm here is, so I spoke to them and I paid homage. I went in and did my work, and once I was done, then I was able to come out and come out and talk to Verdine, and talk to Maurice, and talk to Philip, and talk to these higher beings, and just pick their brain and have them compliment you on what you did on the song. So those moments are those are moments that you never forget. To work with Dave Chappelle, to tour with Dave Chappelle, to be a horn player, to be in the horn section with a super band is led by, Amir Questlove Thompson, and to be on the Dave Chappelle Block Party, to be a part of something as historic as that, and to be in the room, to be on stage, to be in rehearsals with all of these great artists, I just recently played with Dave Matthews Band about 2 weeks ago. My good friend Buddy Strong, the keyboard player, and the great Rashawn Ross, trumpet player for Dave Matthews, invited me to come out and sit in and play with Dave Matthews. I mean, in front of 30,000 people, and have Dave Matthews introduce you as, have Dave Matthews say, "There's no way that we could be this close to Philly and not call out one of the baddest trombone players in the world." I mean, it's humbling. But I have many stories like that. Many, 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 many stories. This journey has been such a blessing. And touring with Jay-Z, and touring with Mary J. Blige, touring with the great Tyler Perry, and it's been man, it's been nothing short of a blessing. It's been amazing.
Yeah. When you mentioned something, and it is so true. When you're in the moment, you don't understand what you're going through, right? You don't really kind of feel all of the things because you're in it. So being that you've been doing this for 29 years, what has kept you grounded, and what has kept you passionate about this? Because in the 29 years, I can only imagine there have been times where you're like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. We all had that. So for you, what has kept you consistent? Because that's the name of the game, consistency.
Believe me, that those thoughts come around more than people will honestly admit. It's not for the faint of heart. This business, it's a tough business. But what you have to continue to believe is that God has put you in this place with purpose. And as a trombone player who has no formal musical degree or accreditation, somebody just was born out of his mother's womb with a gift, taught by his father, studied great music, studied a lot of great music and a lot of great artists throughout my entire career, even now. You just have to know that and continue to believe that God has purpose on your life and God has purpose on your career, and that you are trailblazing a path that has not ever been walked.
Yes.
As a solo artist, as a solo trombone artist, and contemporary jazz and R&B and soul music, that you're charting a path all your own. That you're cutting your way through this jungle, and there's no path there, but you're making a path. That you're trailblazing a path. That you're creating the path as you go.
Yes.
So when you're blessed with that kind of responsibility, then you make sure that you record music that is legendary, that you record music and continue to evolve as an artist, as a trombone player, as a producer, as you gather the village of great producers and writers to help you along the way as you trailblaze this road, man. You realize that you have to continue to raise the bar because you want to continue to inspire all the trombone players that are going to, and not just trombone players, uh, but all the instrumentalists that are in your age group and the younger guys that are going to come after me.
Yeah.
I don't like to say behind. I like to say after.
Yeah.
I don't like that word. The guys are going to come after you. You know that your trailblazing path that they all can walk through, like how Kurt Franklin trailblazed that path across to the other side. How he took music with Stomp and took stuff like that and took the reason why I sang and took that music across to the other side to where you could turn on R&B radio and hear Kurt Franklin's music. The message of the gospel crossed out of gospel radio and went over, go ye to the highways and byways.
Yeah.
It crossed over. So as a trombone player, as a trombone artist, I want to also, and I think I've done that so far, be able to like, oh, he's in smooth jazz, but I'm not a smooth jazz artist. I'm just a soul baby that plays trombone. That was born. That's a baptized believer. So my music has continued to not just touch people in smooth jazz and jazz music, but it also crosses over to people who believe God, who go to church on a Sunday. Pastors can listen to my music. I always recorded that way. So I never recorded music that my mama couldn't listen to.
Yes.
I never recorded music that my children couldn't listen to. So I think it's really important that I have that in mind when I'm recording this music. That 20 years from now, and we can go back and listen to Bone Deep. You can listen to Bone Deep and be like, wow,
right?
I was on one. I was on one. When I started out, like I was on one, and continue to try to raise the level of every album, and evolve without losing who I am, evolve and continue to evolve, and that's how I got to Jeff Bradshaw 20. It's my best work.
Yes,
it's my best work. It's my most diverse album, which was not easy after albums like Jeff Bradshaw and Friends, my live album, which came out in 2015. After my album Stronger, that came out in 2020.
Yes,
those are great diverse albums with many diverse artists. But I think this is my most. This is the excellence. I think I've created excellence with the diversity of music on this album. I think
let's talk about the inspiration behind it. I know I got a chance to read up on just some of the reasonings, but I want, in your words, what makes this album so iconic? Jeff Bradshaw 20. What does it encompass?
It shows that I'm a better trombone player, that I've continued to evolve as a trombone player, that I've continued to evolve as a producer who understands what concepts are and how different concepts can live on the same album, and it doesn't feel like, oh, he should have did this on another album, or he should have. This is a beautiful menu. It's like 13 courses of a meal, that all go together. They're all different things, and but it's a great diverse course, 13 course meal that all go together. From we go to Latin, we go to Puerto Rico, we go to Ghana, we go back to classic R&B. I have a song. The first song on the album is a song called Dubai Voices, which was produced by Jazzy Jeff. That takes us to a futuristic place where Jazzy Jeff produced a song in Dubai. That's why it's called Dubai Voices. I kept that name. I mean, there's a lot of records on this album. I Don't Want to Wait, a song that features Liz Vaughn, who is like a cross between Ledisi and Shirley Murdoch. A song with no drums, just a pulse. Conceptually, this record feels amazing. Of course, great songs that honor great artists. Great songs like "The Maintenance Man," a great gospel song that features the great gospel artist B. Slade, AKA Tone. You know, what a what a alien he is. He's a unicorn, man. He's a great producer, great singer, great writer, and to be able to work with him was amazing. Great songs by a great singer by the name of Jamie Knight from Philadelphia, Hidden Gem, and right in Philly. Beautiful, beautiful, powerful, powerful song about love and love lost. And this album is so many places. Got Raheem Devon, Eric Roberson, where we talk about the single, where we talk about making time for yourself, then making time for your partner, and you and your partner making time for love. You know, a story that we all can identify with. You know,
Yes.
two busy people, but you have to make time for yourselves, and then you can make time for each other. And only at that time can you make time for love.
I
You know,
love
a
that.
great story that we all know. That's a great story that we all know. You know, but when you hear it in song, oh man,
It just
what
does
a great
something else
record.
to you.
We have fun. And even though it carries bread pudding, which
Mm.
I pay homage to my great mother, Carrie Bradshaw, uh, from Aiken, South Carolina, uh, who raised me on, you know, the best bread pudding made on this side of heaven. You know, I had to pay tribute to my great mother and her bread pudding. She's 83 now, and I want her to be able to hear these flowers and smell these flowers and know that she's loved, honored, and appreciated. Carrie's Bread Pudding is one of my favorite songs in the album.
Mm.
So
Mm.
it's been fun. This album has truly, truly been a journey. I recorded this album in 11 months, and from start to finish, and man, it is truly my best work,
Oh man.
without question. Without question.
Man, it gives me chills as you think about it. I can hear the passion in what you're saying. Every word is so passionate. What do you want your fans or newcomers to know about you through this newest album?
That I'm here to provide balance. I don't know how many jazz festivals you can go to, and it's 35 sax players.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like, and trust me, a lot of my heroes are sax players. Kurt Whalen, Joe Albright, Branford Marsalis. I mean, it's a lot of my heroes are sax players.
Yes.
Um, but I'm just here to add some balance to contemporary music and soul music and R&B. As a trombone player, I'm here to provide balance. I'm here to offer, you know, something different, but soulful and something that feels good. And I'm here to trailblaze something new. People deserve um, a what we'll call a variety.
Okay.
Even though there are trumpet players, one of my good friends, Lynn
Yeah.
Roundtree, is a great trumpet player in contemporary jazz music. But I'm here to provide balance to this music and give people something a little different. You
Yeah.
know,
And we need it. We're in a time right now where, you know, even with the evolution you were thinking about, today's music sometimes can get lost in meaning, and I'll leave it at that. That's the nicest way I could put that. I'm not
I
gonna
mean, I mean, you have to admit, like, you know, too much of anything is bad for you. You know, you
mm-hmm.
have to have all things in moderation.
Come on.
You know, you get a
Come
sax
on.
player here, a couple sax players here, and throw that trombone player in there. And you got a trumpet player, and you got a guitar artist over here, and you got Norman Brown and Earl Klugh and all these great uh, 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 jazz, contemporary jazz guitarists. Then you got Julian Vaughn on bass, and I mean, you got Gerald Beasley from Philly on lead bass. You
Mm.
know, we got to give people a variety, not
Yes.
just go to a jazz festival and there's 15 artists and 12 of the artists are sax players.
Mm.
It's like,
Right.
don't
Enough.
people deserve, don't people deserve a variety? Don't they
Yes.
deserve something different? Do we
Yes.
just keep cramming the same thing down people's throats? Or do
Yeah.
we offer them a variety? You
Yes.
know,
An
because,
experience.
well, yes,
Yes.
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 I just give me a chance. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just give me a shot. You been to a Jeff Bradshaw show? You know. And I must say that I've been blessed to play a lot of jazz festivals.
Yes.
I mean, from the Essence Festival on down, you know,
Come
I've
on.
been blessed to play. I've been blessed to play some really big jazz festivals. But you
Oh,
know, there is work. You know, there's still work to be done, a lot of work to be done. And I'm just trying to, um, I'm just trying to continue to say what I have to say
Come on.
musically
Yeah.
about where my place is in the legacy of what I'm doing.
Yeah. And what words of advice can you give to our up and coming trombone players?
Mm, find your voice, find your place, find your voice.
Mm.
Practice like your life depends. Practice like your life depends on it because it does.
Yes.
Practice
Yes.
like your next meal depends on it. Be prepared like your next meal depends on it because if you get to where you want to, it will.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and you have to be prepared. Practice, be prepared, and get out and play every place you can. And whatever it is you're looking for. If you're a jazz guy and you really love jazz, there's plenty of jazz clubs in most places. There's jazz clubs in most major cities. And if there are no jazz clubs, you find out where the live music is. And you
Yeah.
take what you have to say. You take what you have to say. I don't care. I was in the poetry clubs. I
Mm.
was playing with the DJs. Wherever there was music being played, I went.
Right.
You know, I went where the music was. I went. Where there was a band there, wasn't a band not there. I went and found my way. I didn't sit home and wait for people to call me. I went to the studios down at Touch of Jazz
Mm.
Productions, down at Jazzy Jeff's production house, where 6 great producers gave us Neo Soul out of Philadelphia, and gave us Jill Scott, Floetry, Music Soul Child, and many others. You know, I'm from a great city of music. You know, I'm a Philly boy. I'm a Philly cat.
Come
You
on.
know,
Come on.
and I'm trying to cement my legacy uh, in music uh, in this city, and I'm trying to make sure that I understand that I have a responsibility to put out great music, being from this great music city.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I'm going to continue to try to do. I'm continue trying to trailblaze and be legendary in everything I do. Like every album has to feel legendary. Every album has to be an event.
Yeah.
I don't have the, I don't have the, I can't like put out an okay album because I'm a trombone player. Every album that I have to put out, it has to be life changing. It has to be like, oh my God, he did it again. Because of the instrument that I play, when
Mm-hmm.
you're trailblazing, everything has to be amazing. And
Yeah.
I think with album number 5 and 20 years as an artist, I think Jeff Bradshaw 20, I think we did that. I think we
Come on.
continue to put out an amazing, amazing body of work.
Yeah. Oh man. I have been honored. I mean, I've been following your career for a while, so I know just how much you impact my life. So I was so
Uh,
excited when I got the opportunity to get you here. So please tell us how we can further support you and what do you have coming up?
uh, well, you can download my new album, Jeff Bradshaw 20, on all streaming platforms. It's available everywhere, Jeff Bradshaw 20, my 20th anniversary album, my baby, the best of me, the very, very best of me. And
Mm.
uh, follow me on all social media at I am Jeff Bradshaw. At I am Jeff Bradshaw on all social media. And follow my tours. Follow me. I'm currently on an album promo tour and touring with Patti LaBelle at the same time as her special
Nice.
guest, which is awesome as well. Touring
Nice.
with the icon, and opening for her and playing in her band, being featured in her show as well. Um, Follow my journey and catch up. Go download my album and find out, what all the hype is about.
Yes.
I think my music, it speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Help me help me make history within a very uncommon instrument in
Yes.
my genre of music.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Please make sure you head over right now and you download the album everywhere you can get it and get a chance to catch up and get to know this iconic man over here by the name of Jeff Bradshaw. Jeff, thank you once again for tapping in. You are now part of the Courtney's community and you are welcome back here anytime you want. We love you for being
Thank you,
here and
man.
I love all of you for watching. Please make sure that you tap in to another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. That is all for now. You guys have a good one. Peace.